You look at Africa on the map and it's the wrong size. You look at Great Britain on the map and it's too big. Like, images are political, and the only way you can reframe the narrative is to be in the driving seat of the perspective and the narrative and the pipes. Yeah. You have to have a distribution mechanism, because at the end of the day, that is the mechanism through which the narrative gets out into the world. And so that's what Mansa is for us. It's small, it's nascent, but it's ours. Yeah. And the perspective on there is ours. And the people who are on there, we value, and we are platforming them, and we are giving them a place where they are valued, as opposed to what every single one of us experience elsewhere, which is that you're thought of as charity. Yeah. Like, we made Queen of Cartway at Disney, and an executive there referred to the film as a brand deposit. I said, "Oh, what? What's a brand deposit?
What the hell is that?"
To my face, this person said, "The kind of film it's good for us to be seen making."
To make them look good.
Right.
Oh, that they made this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then they made that move. Then they made the, then they did, right after that, they did the white girl that can play chess. They copied it.
Queen Gambit.
Queen Gambit. I was, because as soon as they did, I said, that's the kid, they took it. Right. And I do it on stage. I go, "Oh, you guys think you slick?" Because they did the African chick, and I do a whole joke about, you know, the African girl not having enough chess pieces. Right. And then I put Samuel Jackson in. I'm just making, it goes, "You trying to play chess? Where the hell are your pieces?" I don't have it. A rock and a sock. Say, hell, you know, I said, they're going to make the African girl not have no money and all.
Oh, so my gosh. Godfrey is a problem. I'm just going to say it again. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it again.
Keep
Godfrey, I'm out here trying to get Queen of Cartway made. He has recast Sam Jackson as me.
I didn't ask you a goddamn thing. Say what again? You don't have enough chess pieces. Get your ass out of here. What the hell's wrong with you? You chess? Are you African? Are you African?
So not only can he not be my dad, he cannot run a studio. We do not want Godfrey anywhere near
Ruckus Productions presents.
Ruckus
Productions. How about this? Ruffian Films. Films from the bush.
We must perform an intervention. If this starts brewing as an idea, I will come.
Me and Dave are going to be in a movie. Watch. I'll be his raggedy brother.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll be like, "Man, you need to go punch him in his face."
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
But the Queen, as soon as I saw the white woman, that scene, I go, I was like, "Yo, get the hell out of here." It was like they copied.
No, but I think it's so deep, because in this trip that I was telling you guys to, you know, for me going to Nigeria and taking my family, I spent a lot of money, but I spent a lot of money because what I wanted to do was, and when you said that, something hit me deep inside. What I was really trying to do was erase what my kids, because growing up with a certain perspective, and I'll never forget, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I showed one of my kids a picture of a beautiful beach. I said, "This is Africa." "No, it's not."
Wow.
He immediately said, "No, it's not."
Wow.
I go, "Yes, it is." I said, "Look, that's not real." And I thought, oh my goodness, I haven't really said anything. I hadn't, like, you know, they had already had this belief from somewhere else that Africa could not be this beautiful beach. But had I said that this is somewhere in Europe, or had I said something else, they would have believed that, but they wouldn't have believed that this was a beautiful beach. And so what I tried to curate in this trip, and some, you know, I had family members like, "Oh, you're not giving them the real African." I was like, I have another plan.
Yeah.
I'm giving them, for this first trip, I'm showing them different things, stuff that is very close to what they've been here.
That's right.
Here in America.
That's right.
So when somebody goes to them and says, "Africa doesn't have this," like,
yes, it does. That's
yeah,
right.
I mean, we were in a house that was 36,000 square feet. They ain't never, that's the biggest house they ever been in was in Nigeria.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
it's so important, because it reminds me of when Queen of Cartway first came my way as a project. My kids had been with me on the set of Selma. They had seen me giving those speeches. They had seen me front and center in a film of that nature. The next film I did was Queen of Cartway, and I remember saying to my kids, like, eldest son, who was 12 at the time, I remember saying, yeah, I'm going to do this film for Disney called Queen of Cartway. The first thing my son said to me was, oh, wow, Daddy, are you going to play the best friend?
Damn.
That was the first thing he said to me. Friend. Are you going to play the best friend? And I was like, hold on. What about me doing a film for Disney makes him immediately equate that I am going to be on the periphery of the narrative? And I went, oh my gosh. He has internalized, not unlike your kids in relation to what beautiful beaches look like. He had internalized that a film of that nature means Daddy is going to be an addendum. Is going to be peripheral. Is going to be on the side of the protagonist. And that is verbatim what he said to me. It hit me to my core. That reality. And to the point whereby when we were, because I came on board of Queen of Cartway and we were still kind of, working the script. And because I had come on board, Lupita Nyong'o had come on board. She just won the Oscar for 12 Years a Slave. And it centered this girl. They were still working on the script. And I could feel that after they cast me, it was starting to make my character more central. And I went, whoa. This girl is the center of the movie. We have to retain that because that I haven't seen before. I have not seen an 11-year-old dark-skinned African girl, the center of a movie where she is a genius. In spite of where she's from. Let's not get pulled into, David just did Selma, Lupita just did whatever. Let's really protect this here. And it was my son's voice reverberating in my ears because I had a daughter. I had 3 sons and then a daughter. And I was like, this is my love letter to her because I cannot have her growing up thinking that she is never central in a narrative. So that was very, very specifically a film that all of my energy was about. When I'm no longer on this earth, Zoe, that's the film you go look at to see how I think of you.
Wow. As you're speaking, it just makes me realize like film, media, music, it's all could be part of or is brainwashing.
Yeah, of course.
Because it changes the way people see and because if you don't have those things out there, those things on like social media, all of it is part of programming the mind. It's such a.
But this government's policy using entertainment to distract. It's like sports. It's written where they go sport. We use this to distract. Sports is used to distract.
It's the most used to powerful medium in the world.
It's very powerful.
I think
because most people are watching, if they're not at work, people are watching TV, movies. So what's the best way to get people? Look at YouTube. Commercials are on YouTube now. So how are we going to sell our product? Where's everybody watching? Oh, YouTube. That's why when you're watching or Tubi or whatever, they got commercials right in between that. You see, that's all facts. It's all what you're saying is it's a law. This has been in the 50s, bro.
But it's also one of the only places in modern life where you have space for nuance. Because in social media, with how quick you're in and out of something, with the United Kingdom or Queen of Cartway or even Bass Reeves, which to your point is now just gone on to Netflix. So that is about to have a resurgence for an audience. But you have, in that case, you have 8 episodes where you can really dig into a man who went from being enslaved to empowered and the most arguably,
that is,
I mean, just the most extraordinary lawman this country has probably ever seen, who some people think the Lone Ranger was based on his life.
Did you watch Lone Ranger? Because as a kid,
did growing up.
We had to watch, Clayton Moore was the Lone Ranger with Jay Silverheels was his Tonto. Was the Indian. Tonto in Spanish means silly. Tonto means silly. In Spanish. So it was Jay Silverheels who was a real Native American. And we were like, hi-yo, Silver. We watch it. And then you find out it was based off a black dude. The Lone Ranger. And they just made him, and the first cowboys were all black from what's his name? Oh God, steer wrestling.
Bill Pickett?
Bill Pickett, because they have a big statue of him in Dallas. He was the first to grab bulls by the ears. You have Deadwood Dick. You have all these great Nat Love.
You pitch Lawman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pitched?
How long did it take you,
We took it out for the first time in 2013.
Damn. That was the first time.
It was the first time.
Okay.
And
walk me through how did that process
I was
happen?
approached about playing him, and I loved Cowboys growing up.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I loved playing Cowboys and Indians. Didn't realize at the point how problematic the Indians part of it was, because they were always the baddies.
Yeah.
And so when if you just Google Bass Reeves, the blurb on him alone, you go, that's a movie. Come to find out, Morgan Freeman had been trying to make this thing for decades, hadn't been able to get, and I was just like, that's impossible. How can that even be? So we were like, okay, wait, let's try and make it as a TV series. And I was like, there's no way this isn't going to sell. So we go out the first time. Every network, every cabler says, we're not doing that because no one's doing Westerns. Okay. So we let that rest for a minute. 2-3 years later, we think, you know what? I'm seeing a few Westerns popping up. So we go out again. Yeah, we're not going to do that because everyone's doing Westerns. I was like,
this is what they do, man. I'm telling you. What they do.
What the heck? Checkmate. When I talk about being gaslit, when I talk about being gaslit, by the time you've gone to the 12th studio and they've said the same thing, you're like, did these people call each other to say this is what we're now going to say?
Wow.
Then Taylor Sheridan has this huge success with Yellowstone and that whole thing.
1883,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
1883. So I hit up Taylor and I'm like, look, I have this thing I've been trying to get made. And he had the juice, because of the success. And we're going to call a spade here. George Floyd gets murdered. And there's a moment.
Shift.
Where
we're sorry.
Oh,
we're sorry. Make anything you want.
Yeah, right. Where it just opened
Everybody
the
was
aperture.
black. Superman was black.
Right.
Spider-Man's black. Everybody black.
For a moment.
Real quick.
And so that was the lens through which, without Taylor, without that cultural correction moment, that show
So if George Floyd
doesn't get
killed, rest in peace, it doesn't get murdered. George Floyd, Bass Reeves maybe doesn't.
I don't think. Look at the track record.
Yeah.
We went out twice.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. The pandemic was this moment where Yellowstone goes through the roof because we're all stuck at home. So the Western now becomes something everyone is gravitating towards. In the midst of that, George Floyd gets murdered. I don't think we have that cultural moment if we're not all sat at home contemplating our lives and why we're here and why we're isolated. And now you see a man being murdered for 8 to 9 minutes straight in a loop. When you're at home wondering if the world is over, which precipitates us going into a moment where we have more compassion than we ever would have done if we hadn't been sat down and sat at home internalizing and being reflective because we were all at home. It was a coalescence of a bunch of things that led to that moment happening.
Yo, it's finally here.
Yes.
We are dropping our lifestyle merch. 154 is here. It's hot. Come get it.
Bam.
Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home.